Hello and welcome back to the Roy's Godot multiplayer game series. Last episode, we started building a network object that managed ownership. Today, we are going to finish that network object, so let's dive right in. First thing we're going to do is go to our network manager script right here, and we are going to make a function that switches which owner it is. So right now, objects, when they start up, they just automatically assign themselves to whichever owner they are. We are going to make a system to switch them. So to do that, we'll just do func underscore switch underscore network object, and we are going to take in a new owner, and that is going to be of type int. So it'll be their network ID. And then we'll take in a network object of type network object. And then obviously we have to check if that network object is valid. So we'll say if not is instance valid network object. Okay, right there. And if it's not, we will return. Cool. Now we will go into a for loop and loop through the players and see if any of them match the network object or the new owner ID. So we'll go for player in connected players if the player dot network ID is equal to network object dot owner ID. So if they are the same, then this player used to own the object and they don't anymore. So we are going to want to remove the object from them. So now we're going to check if they actually have it stored, just in case they don't for some reason. So player dot players objects dot has network object. So if it has it, then we will go player dot players objects, and then we will erase the network object. Then we will see if player dot network ID is equal to new owner. Then we will give them the object. So we'll go player dot players objects dot append. Oops, not append array, append, and then network object. Okay, there we go. We've got our switch network objects owner function done on the network manager. Now we're going to switch to the network object script. Okay, now we are going to make an RPC here to request ownership of the object. Actually, first let's scroll up and make a callable. So we're going to go var validate ownership change callable, and this will be of type call. Okay, so what this is going to do is if you were on the server and someone requests ownership of an object, this callable can be called and it'll return a bool, and that will manage whether or not they can actually change. Like that person can actually request ownership of this thing. That makes sense? So what we're going to do is now make an RPC. So we'll go at RPC. This will be of type any peer, since we want anyone to be able to request ownership of this object. We will do of type call local, so that the owner can also request the server can also request ownership of this object. It'll also be type reliable because we want this request to be able to go through every time, and there's not going to be a lot of these requests, so we're not too concerned about spamming the network with these and slowing things down. So we'll go func request ownership, and it's not going to take in any arguments. So we're going to make a variable called sender ID, and this is going to be of type int, and we are going to say network manager dot multiplayer dot get remote sender ID. So now we know who's requesting this object, and we are going to make a print statement. We'll just print that someone is requesting it. So we'll say %s requested ownership, and then %sender ID. Cool. So now we know someone requested ownership of this object. So we'll say if not network manager dot is server. So if it's not the server, we are going to return. Actually, I'm going to put this on the same line. Return. It looks cleaner that way. And then we'll say if owner ID is equal to sender ID. Well, then they already own it, so why are they requesting it? So we're going to return. No need to continue there. Now we are going to use that callable. So we'll say if validate ownership callable. So if this isn't null, we will then go into this if block statement and say if validate ownership callable dot call, and we are going to pass in the sender ID, and then we will, so if this returns true, this callable returns true, we will change ownership. This will be an RPC we'll make later, so I'll just pass for now. And then we'll say else, and then this will be another pass. These passes, we will send the change ownership. So if we don't have a validate ownership callable to do a validation check, we'll just automatically assume that it's true and send it. So if you're building out a prototype of the game and you don't want it to be super secure and everything, you can just assume everyone's being honest. But let's be honest, if you ever have a game go into production, you don't trust your clients ever that they can request things. So you're going to put this in, you're going to use this callable. But this is a nice generic way that you can plop these two scripts into any project, and you can write your own custom validation logic without changing any of the core network object or the network manager. So these validation callables, we're going to be putting them all throughout this series. They are super powerful, super useful. Okay, now let's do this change owner RPC. So RPC, and this one's going to be authority, so only the server can call it. And we are going to once again call local so that the server also gets the fact that the owner has changed. And then this is going to be of type reliable. So now we're going to go func change owner, and we are going to do a new owner, and this is going to be of type int. So we're going to do this check if network manager dot is server or new owner is equal to network manager dot network ID or owner ID is equal to, oh, this is a long if statement. Owner ID is equal to network, I hate making them this long, network, come on, network manager dot network ID. I'm gonna just do some variables here to make this shorter. So var is server is equal to is server, shorter. Var is new owner is equal to this is new owner. And then var is old owner is equal to this. So if it's the new owner, the old owner, or the server, we are going to want to call, let me scroll back down here, please, Godot. Oh, I already did. My eyes are just messed up. We're going to go network manager dot which network object self and new owner. Now we're going to scroll up here and make a signal that sends out whenever the owner changes. So we'll go signal on ownership change, and this will take in two variables. So it'll be old owner int, new owner int. Cool. So now that we've changed the ownership, we will go on ownership change, owner ID, new owner. Oh, and emit. Whoops. Dot emit. Forgot about that part. Okay, now we'll print old owner %s, new owner %s, and then make an array, owner ID, new owner. There we go. So we're just printing out who it is. And now the last but most important piece, owner ID is equal to new owner. Now they officially own the new object. There we go. So now let's test this by going to Godot and opening up our character body script and changing this from is server. Let's get the network object instead. So let's go at on ready var network object is equal to get parent, because the parent node of this node is going to be our network object. So we'll say network object dot is owner. So if it's not the owner, we'll return, and then in here we'll check if the owner called this. So actually, no, we don't need to do that right now. We'll do that later. So let's go back to our network object. Now that we've changed it to check if you are the owner, let's on the network started, we will go and request ownership. So we'll go request ownership dot RPC ID, and we will request it from the server. And we'll say if network manager dot network ID not equal, or we don't need to check the network ID. Server is server. So if it's not the server, we will request ownership, because by default, we have this object owned by the server. There we go. Okay, so let's run this. Requested ownership. Okay, we requested ownership. This is the server. Nothing's happening when I click. Client, nothing's happening when I click. What did I mess up? So request the ownership. That's good. Oh, I never did this. Haha. Change owner dot RPC. And then we will do the sender ID. Whoops. Let's try this again. And we are moving around on the client. We can't move around on the server. Haha, perfect. But we go and comment this stuff out, this request. The server doesn't seem to be working, and the client doesn't seem to be working. Okay, let's figure out that bug. The server should be working. Oh, I forgot to do this. Network ID. So in the create server is equal to the get unique ID. I forgot to do this part. So it didn't think the server was the owner. So let's do this again. And there we go. We're working. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this episode useful. Next episode, we are going to be creating a menu that helps you connect and host and all that stuff so that we no longer need all this fun stuff here. We can just use a menu to do it. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.